collectors and Transformer fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the incredible support of my patrons, Optibotimus Plus channel members, or those of you that just hit that thumbs up button, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Kingdom Leader Class Megatron. And yes, the leader of the Predacons himself makes his debut in the Kingdom line. For the package, absolutely gorgeous. You see that art right here in the front with him in his T-Rex mode, his robot mode. You can see the Nemesis there in the background. Of course, you got the Transformers Text Generation logo, the Kingdom logo down here, and a little tiny window that showcases Megatron from about the waist up. Come around to the top here, you got the Predacon logo right there. Side here has that really cool image of all the different characters and things of that nature, all surrounding the golden disc. Come around to the back of the package, and here you have Megatron. You can see that he transforms in 27 steps, and you got images of him in his robot and his beast mode. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Megatron opened up out of his packaging, and oh, we got this happening right now. Pepper, you can't come up here. She's probably coming up here to steal things. Like, see, watch, I'll put that there. Are you gonna do anything? What are you gonna do? Hi cutie. What is happening? I gotta do this video. I gotta do the video. Can I do the video? Can I do it? Can I do the video? Come here. Come here. Aww. People are going to be mad that I got rid of you, but I got to do this. So here we go. This is the Transformers Kingdom Leader Class Barney the Big Purple Dinosaur. Or Megatron, whatever. And in general, I'm fairly happy with it. Again, the Beast Wars thing where there are parts that don't clean up completely clean is prevalent here. You see some of it like here with the tail, everything that I'm okay with. You got some stuff here in the bottom, the little back section. I mean, none of that is all that bad. Underside here is pretty decent. This part though, I wish could be done differently. Now these bits here are on spring-loaded things, so you can kind of try and get like these underneath this section. Let's see if I can kind of do it. It's a little bit tricky to do. Part of the problem with kind of a large percentage of this figure is that a lot of it is done in a rubbery material. And some of it, like you can even kind of see here, you can see the black section on the underside here. That is hard plastic. And then the rubbery section is pegged into it. That causes issues in some regard. And I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, so like that area looks a little bit ugly. But then again, you come around here to the bottom and you got that rubbery stuff here at the bottom, which doesn't tab together all that great. And I'll explain here in a bit why that's the case. I might not have that pushed down. Now that's a little bit messed up right there. But see, you move things around and it detaches. So it's not an overly stable figure for the most part. It still looks good, and I'm happy with him. You can open his mouth, get a real cool pose. It does have a little bit more of that realistic look, which a lot of these new Kingdom Beast Wars figures are going for that aesthetic, and I'm okay with it. That doesn't bother me really at all. And there is rumor that this guy might get repainted into Rexy from Jurassic Park is one of the next kind of crossovers, and I could totally see that happening. Colors are pretty decent on him. It's not as dark as the actual cartoon, which is a little bit off-putting, but it's not bad, I don't think. Purple is really nice. You can see a lot of really nice sculpted in detail to whether it's the rubbery material or the hard plastic. Well, is that? No, that's kind of rubbery too. I mean, you got the like hard plastic down here. All the sculpt work looks really very nice. Other side here, obviously, is pretty much the same. But, yeah, I mean, it's broken up in some aspects, but I don't think it's really all that terrible looking. It's okay. It's satisfactory for me. Now, for some size comparisons in terms of the beast modes, well, I just dropped Black Arachnia. So, there's that. But here she is, and this is the only real Predacon that we've gotten so far. So there she is. Here is the Rat Man. Here's the Kitty Bot. Here's Cheetor right there. And then move things kind of around so you can kind of get an overall look. And of course, finally, here we have Primal. So again, leader class figures, so I think that the overall scale here works pretty decently. The Maximals were smaller for the most part, with the exception of Dinobot, but he originally was a Predacon, so, you know, it is what it is. But the size-wise, I am fairly happy with. And I do really hope that we get some other Predacons at some point in time, because just having one isn't all that fun. I guess technically we have two. His articulation, though, is also where things kind of get a little bit ugly. You can move the legs around. The thigh, it's not that bad. When you bend him at the knee, that starts looking a little bit ugly because you got a big giant gap right there. And then, of course, you got this little white bone sort of color plastic underneath there. So that disrupts things a bit. He does have an ankle tilt. It doesn't rotate, but you can tilt the ankle. The arms up here are on ball joints, as you can see earlier. The head, you can open the mouth. You can also like angle things around, but again, you can turn his head, but you see what's happening. It starts kind of breaking up that whole sculpt. So in general, like, I think he looks good if you just kind of have him standing there and not really articulating him too much, because that's when you start noticing a lot of issues. And that kind of makes them look a little bit ugly. Oh, but you can kind of see, like right here, this little purple rubber section has come away from this black piece. And then you have to kind of force that back in there. So that's a little bit annoying. The tail, you can wiggle here. That doesn't look all that bad. You have another section right down there that you can rotate that around. So he's articulated. But again, like I said, I just feel like he is better served in terms of the overall look by just having him like sit there, maybe opening his mouth or something like that. And then he does have a hole on the inside of his mouth here that if you have any of the blast effects, that's the only one that I have right there. You can put that in there and you can do that. It honestly is a little bit better if you use that in his robot mode, but he's definitely able to do that in either mode. But now for the transformation, or should I say, Predacons terrorize! I know. It's a bad impression. I apologize. First, we're going to take this section here. We're going to lift this up, and you can rotate that around just like that as well. That whole section will probably come up, but it tabs in underneath here. But again, when you start feeling it, you're going to start feeling all this soft, rubbery material on them, and that does cause issue. Just flop that up just like that. Then it come around here to the bottom, and you want to split this, and you can pull that away. Now, these pieces here, like I said, they're on springs. You'll fiddle with that in a bit, but just kind of open things up there for right now. Then take this whole torso section where his legs are. Get this kind of out of the way. And this tabs in. It's fairly secure, so just pull that away just like that. And then you can rotate him around. And then you have a double hinge thing here that you're going to bring in, and you're going to lock all this at a good push. There we go. That locks that in. Now, these little hip sections here, a little bit easier just to kind of push out like that, and then hinge, and then collapse that up and in towards the middle. So, again, on this side, kind of bring that out, bring all this down, collapse that up. Kinda, sorta. There we go. And then put the two halves together like that. Obviously, this is pretty much his legs done. You can take these bits. These are going to pull out. Rotate that up and around. Collapse that back in there. Do that on this side as well. Pull that out. Rotate that. And collapse that in. Now, come around to the back section here. This is a big, giant kind of mess at this point in time. You can take the head. Get this kind of pulled out. You're going to rotate his head around. Maybe I should have rotated his head around before I... Is there enough clearance there? Oh, yeah, there's enough clearance. Pull his head out. You probably would want to do that when you have a little bit more space there. So do that. And then these are going to spring down. This kind of gets in the way. Just move that back, and that'll spring down like so. Take these little dinosaur arms. These are going to rotate. Put that wherever you really want. That's going to collapse there. That's going to collapse there. Just kind of tuck those down. You got that collapsed. Then take this, bring this up. Got a double hinge here. Just kind of hinge that up like so, and that will clip into place. And then you can play with these however you want. They just kind of sit there. It's fairly accurate, honestly. He had these little pieces on his back. Just kind of keep that down. Oh, his head fell back down. Keep that there. There we go. Just like that. Then take these arms. Now, this part is definitely something that this rubbery section kind of does a disservice to this figure. So you're going to pull these pieces away. Take this, fold this. Now, this you're supposed to rotate all the way around, but you can see this has come through that. So it's really tough. And now like this, that is completely almost impossible to get. It's supposed to be all the way out. And that's going to be the same thing on this. So that rotates fine. That one is stuck. I'm going to have to do a little wedge sort of thing with that. And then take this bit here. Rotate this around like that. Like so. And then we'll fiddle with that here in a bit. This, you're just going to bring this down and extend his arm. But when you're done, and his head doesn't like staying there all that well, but as I was saying, when you're done, there you have him in his robot mode. And this guy looks terrific. Aesthetically, the only thing that I wish was done a little bit different would be the color. While the color is good on him, I do wish it was a little bit darker. Now, like I was talking about, this piece right here literally is a pain in the butt. I have to take like some tweezers and kind of wedge it underneath there so that I can pop that middle soft rubbery piece through that little section to be able to fold it all the way. That's an aspect that, because they're using this softer rubber throughout the entire thing, does kind of annoy me. That's one of the design aspects I don't like, but all in all, really, really love the way that this guy turned out. Super freaking awesome. Now, for the comparisons, obviously, let's get that out of the way. He is a leader class figure, so he's going to be a little bit bigger. But here is a Voyager class Optimus Primal, Deluxe class Cheetor, as well as the Deluxe class Black Arachnia, and of course, the little Core class Rat Trap. So, scale-wise, it's perfect. As I talked about, the Predacons in general were fairly larger by comparison. Megatron here was also really large. So, I mean, again, scale-wise, I think this whole thing is really shaping up nicely. Just good to see a really big Megatron. And yes, for one final comparison, here is Megatron next to a Coca-Cola Tic Tac container. Coming in to take a closer look, absolutely wonderful head sculpt. I love the detail in it. Paint applications are all really nice. Right here in the middle, you can see a little Predacon logo. But the rest of the color looks really good as well. I do wish it was a little bit darker. That's only one of the aspects that I wish was really all that different. But it doesn't drive me nuts or anything. But I love the sculpting and detail. I like the gunmetal gray that they have here with the nice silver details. Love the fact when you get down here to his legs, you can even see that they got those little guns that were kind of there actually put into the design. Again, really nice. You got some really nice metallic gunmetal gray there. And then, of course, his legs, which are basically just his beast legs coming down here. I mean, absolutely terrific detail. I mean, yes. I know, I'm doing a bad impression. I'm sorry. I'm not Jobby. I can't get David K. Although I probably could call David and give him a little bit of a push, and he would probably do a Megatron thing for me, but I don't like bugging him. But overall, just terrific detail on here. He does have a bit of a backpack that is actually fairly accurate to the design, so it doesn't bother me. Like these pieces right here, they were kind of there in the cartoon, so I'm okay with it. For the most part, though, it compresses decently, despite the fact that it is fairly large. First articulation, the head does rotate left and right, kind of looks up and down because you got that transformation joint. I wish that would lock in. It doesn't. I mean, it kind of sits there. I mean, you could push it all the way forward. It feels like it pops it kind of out of place, but then it just makes him look down a little bit. The shoulders here, they are on swivels. They'll they move forward and back. They hinge up and down. He rotates at the upper part of the bicep, bends at the elbow. This is interesting. One part that I do wish that they did was design a way where this whole section could remove. The original design of the animation, he occasionally did not have that attached to him, and I wish they would have done that. And I wonder if they were going to, because his hand here, I mean, I love the fact that they have his hand sculpted. His hand actually can articulate just forward and back, but that's weird that they would even bother doing that. And if you got a little hole right there that he can hold the weapon. So it's weird to me that they didn't go through and make this removable. It's unfortunate. As part of the tail section, you can move this forward and back. You can also rotate that. And then this bit right here does open and close, so you can have him holding a Decepticon. Same shoulder motion there. You do have the bicep swivel as well, in and out and all that kind of stuff. He does have an elbow joint with the head attached to it. And then, of course, you got the mouth, so you can have him grab hold of his little Decepticon. This feels a little bit loose when you get around there, but you can have him grab hold of somebody, I guess. Waist does have rotation. The hips here do move forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate. Not up there. They rotate down here at the knee, and then you have the bending at the knee. I do wish that was a little bit different. It's almost like they decided to make that white to match with some like bone aesthetic or something. I don't know why they would decide to go with that, other than maybe they had something else in mind. The ankles, as I talked about, do flex in and out as some ankle tilt, and then you got some forward and back motion, which is really nice. So very well articulated in the figure. A little bit more than I would have expected, like I said, in regard to this hand being articulated, but it is, which is a nice little touch. Again, wasn't expecting that, because this part here on his arm doesn't remove. So it's weird that they do it, but hey, I'm not going to complain about extra articulation. I guess it's a good kind of complaint. Now for his transformation back, we're going to just straighten this up, rotate that around, and kind of put that right there. This is going to be like his neck area. So you have that. Take this again. I don't like how this really is, and it's interesting because, like I said, there's all this hard plastic that the soft plastic tabs into, which makes a little bit difficult. But you can kind of see, to get it all flush, kind of have to push to get that there. And now you got some tabs on the underside here. These are all really tricky to do. You have to bring this in. This piece up here is going to lock in. You got a little tab bit here, but again, you kind of have to make sure that this stays bent enough to be able to fit in there, and it's tricky. There we go. Put that there, and then you can bring this piece down, which will probably pop everything out, and get that in there. It's a pain. It's a pain, really is. So again, kind of force this around so that you can tab that bottom piece in, and then tab that in there. Go ahead, rotate that part of the tail, and now all of this is roughly where you need it to be. Come around here to the back. We're going to detach this from the back section. Just kind of hang that down. Bring these little arm sections up. This little piece here, you can rotate that out. Rotate that out. Then you got to split him at the waist. Then rotate this around like that. There we go. And keep that up. Then rotate this piece around. So there we go. So the bottom section here rotates, and then the top section there also rotates. And I had that the wrong way. I'll rotate that around here in a minute, but get that out. Take his head, tuck that down like so. And then, oh no, you want to keep it, I apologize. You want to keep it on this side, because then you're going to take this, get this out of the way. Pull this up like that, just kind of sit that there. This piece here, you need to push this up, and you got a little connector bit right inside here that you need to rotate this up and around and get that to push in. Let's see, get these legs out of the way, and then push that in and lock that into place. You can rotate these legs around. Then, there we go. You're going to rotate this piece around, and then this is all going to come back. And you can basically see how it's coming together. It's fairly simple, honestly. But again, you do have some things that you have to worry about in terms of lining up tabs. So you're going to bring this piece in. Now, again, these little pieces right here don't really connect all that well. You kind of just have to hold them together, and they sort of grab each other there. And it's, again, a little bit tricky, but just kind of squeeze that, just like that. Take this piece, angle that up, kind of hinge his head back into that gap area. Keep this. Sorry, you want to keep that kind of on the outside. Keep the back here as smooth as possible. Squeeze that. There we go. Bring these little guys down. Bring that down. Just kind of line this up as best as you possibly can. All right, now this part does get a little bit tricky as well. So come around here. I forgot to do this. You have to separate these legs. This could be problematic. There we go. And then hinge that all out. There we go. I mean, you can do it at any point in time as long as you don't close it all up. So there we go. But that detach that. So squeeze that. There we are. All right. And again, you're going to rotate these down. Rotate these down. Now, you got little tabs right here that are going to lock in here. It's difficult to see them from the underside, but kind of hinge this down and kind of look from the back here. It's a little bit easier to try to line that up. There we go. Kind of hold that down, because then you're going to come around to this other side and you have to try and line that up. And it's hard to do. There we go. But did that part come undone? I hope it didn't. All right, can I put that there? All right, no, I think that's good. All right. So then you rotate these, straighten that. And then these are going to come down over this. Oh, God, I'm forgetting all sorts of stuff. Rotate that around. Put that in. Then you bring that piece down over there. And kind of line up. You can actually see that the musculature kind of lines up nicely. But, see, I feel like that might have popped out. Put that in you. And there. Let's see. And then just kind of fiddle with this. Clean it up as best as you can. And angle these legs. There we go. I'm trying to see. I think that's about right. Is that right? Looks about right. So, when you're done, there you have Megatron in his beast mode. For the most part, though, I'm really impressed with him. I will say that as a leader class figure, him being bigger, I would have expected a little bit more in terms of cleanliness of kind of everything. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but for me, so far the other Beast Wars figures have cleaned up a little bit better than this guy. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. For a mainline release of the Beast Wars style Megatron, this is the best one we've ever gotten. I guess just because all the other ones that I've gotten have been so impressive that I had really high expectations for this guy. And it's not that he let me down, but there are aspects that I wish were done differently. One of the biggest things in terms of the overall design is I don't like the soft rubber material that is on him. Now, I don't necessarily think that that is going to disintegrate or anything like that over time. It always drives me nuts when you get a toy reviewer that sits there and says, well, in 10 years, it's going to decompose. What? How do you even know that? I just don't like how it's incorporated, especially when you're trying to transform like that arm. that soft material, it just gets caught on things a lot. I also really wish they would have figured out a way so that you can detach that left arm accessory thing and just have a regular arm, because that was accurate to the cartoon. Sometimes he did not have that particular piece attached to his arm. So it would have made sense if they could have figured out a way to incorporate that. And while I do think that his mode, for the most part, cleans up pretty decently. I mean, look at that. I mean, that does look pretty good. There are aspects of it that could have been probably improved on, but all in all, I am happy with it. As I said, I'll probably keep him, though, in his robot mode, just because, for me, I think that robot mode is a little bit more clean, but that doesn't take away from his beast mode. Plus, again, in my own mind, I remember seeing him as a robot a whole lot more. Same thing, for example, like with Rhinox. Most of the time, we saw him in his robot mode. So it'll be probably the same thing with that. But all in all, terrific figure. I cannot recommend him enough. If you are a Beast Wars fan, this is a great one to pick up. And as you can see, he looks great with the other Beast Wars figures from Kingdom. So all that being said, if Megatron here is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now. So if you are looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can do the real simple thing and just go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon. For that, I'll put links right down in the video description where you can go there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate if you would do one very simple thing for me, and that's just to hit that thumbs up button. That one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really very much appreciate it. If you could do a little bit more, consider becoming a patron or an Optibotimus Plus channel member. If you'd like information on how you can become a patron like these guys, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Optibotimus. Or if you want to keep all of your perks and rewards like custom emojis, loyalty badges, exclusive member live streams, Zoom calls, and the occasional giveaway like these guys do, consider becoming a member of Optibotimus Plus. And for that, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.